Hey GB, Miss Gallagher here, continuing our reading of Ghost by Jason Reynolds. We're finishing up chapter 4 today. I hope you're enjoying the reading, and here we go. Of course, you know that at the exact moment I slammed into the track, everybody else who had all been off working on their specialties just happened to be looking toward us. Oh, was literally what everyone howled. Everyone, even Coach. I lay there on my stomach for a second before finally rolling over and sitting up. "You okay?" Coach said, jogging over. I looked behind me. Lou was just finishing the sprint and was now staring back down the straightaway. I looked at my hands and knees. They were black and white with track burn. "Come on." Coach grabbed me by the arm and helped me up. "Walk it off." But walking it off had a whole other meaning for me this time. It meant walking in my dirty, soggy socks down the track to get my sneakers, which might have been more embarrassing than any joke anyone has ever cracked on me. And walking it off also meant actually walking it off, as in walking it off the track. "Just sit this last one out, son," Coach said, before turning back toward the other sprinters, all yucking it up, even Mikey, and especially Lou. "That's enough laughing. On the line," Coach barked, lifting the whistle back to his lips. After practice, everybody gathered around the bench, grabbed their bags, and headed off to meet their parents. I sat with my head in my lap, waiting for everyone to disappear, or waiting for myself to. I'd rolled my jeans down, crinkled from knee to ankle, and I had put my wet shirt back on. "Scoot over, dude," a girl voice said. I lifted my head, and there was Patty. She sat down next to me and started unlacing her shoes, which, by the way, were also pretty dope. I looked straight ahead, out at the track, those stupid white lines teasing me like everybody else. "Don't worry about today," Patty said sweetly. "You ain't the first person to crash out like that." She eased her heels out of her shoes. "And you won't be the last." I glanced over at Coach, who was standing off to the side talking to Sonny, and the man standing next to Sonny, who I figured was his father. He looked like a businessman. Gray suit, tie, beard, glasses, the whole getup. I just wanted to beat him, to shut him up. I kept my eye on those white lines. I didn't want Patty to see whatever might have been showing on my face. "Who, Lou?" she asked, her voice brightening up, happy like this was some kind of joke. "Don't pay that fool no mind. He just mad he albino." Now I turned to Patty because I didn't have a clue what she was talking about. Albino? Was that some kind of sickness? Was he infected with something? Or was it like he was in special ed? Because if that was what albino meant, then people probably thought I was albino too. "Albino?" I repeated. "Yeah," she replied. She must have sensed I was clueless because she continued. "Wait, you don't know what albino is?" I shook my head. Then Patty shook hers. "So it's basically when you born without the brownness in your skin," she explained. "That lady who be cheering for him all crazy at practice, that's his mother. The woman was my complexion, medium brown. And his daddy dark-skinned, so it ain't no way he could just come out white. Feel me? That's albino." Somebody called out for Patty, a small voice. A little girl came running up to us. "So yeah, Ghost. Ghost, right?" Patty said, standing up. "Yeah. That's why Lou acts like that. Trust me, I know. I used to go to school with him. He was picked on crazy until he started running track. Matter of fact, kids used to call him Ghost," Patty explained. The little girl had finally reached us. She threw her arms around Patty and squeezed tight. "Ghost, this my baby sister, Madison." Madison looked at me. "Hey, Madison," I said. She did a weird wave, just jabbed her arm up and snapped down real quick. Then she buried her face in Patty's stomach. She was probably freaked out by my name. Okay, let's go," Patty said, looking over at a white woman. "Momley's waiting for us." Then she looked at me and said, "And before you start wondering if I'm reversed albino or something, me and Madison are adopted. So no need to be weird about it, okay? Oh, I wasn't. I stammered, trying to pretend like the whole reversed albino thing didn't pop right up in my head the second she called that white lady Momly, which was obviously one of those mom nicknames, like, I don't know, Ma or something. It's cool, Patty said, smiling. She picked up her bag and threw it over her shoulder. Then she bent down and lifted her sister, holding her tight to her hip, and they left. Once Patty hobbled past Coach, Sonny and his dad started walking with her. Sonny turned around awkwardly and threw his hand up in the air. Good job today, Ghost, he yelled. And even though I would normally think this was some kind of slick way of making fun of me, the look on Sonny's face and the way his voice sounded made me think that he really meant it. So I waved back and said, nowhere near loud enough for him to actually hear me, thanks. That left me and Coach. When we got to his cab, I tossed my backpack on the floor in the back, slammed the door, and lay down on the sticky leather. If you sit back there, I got to treat you like a customer, kid, Coach said, starting the car. I didn't say nothing. Coach turned around in his seat and glared at me. Okay, then, fine. I'm going to run the meter. If you're going to make me drive you home in silence, I might as well get paid for it. Still nothing from me. Not a word. Nothing to say. All I could think about was how stupid it felt to crash and burn on the track like that on my first real day of practice, and how Brandon Simmons would have laughed me off the planet if he were there to see that, and how I had finally beaten him up for talking smack about me and would have done it again, and how Patty said Lou was albino, and how she has a white mother, and ladders were the worst, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and water bottles. And how come I didn't know any of this? And how come everybody's shoes were so good, especially Lou's and Patty's, and probably Usain Bolt's? I swear I almost broke my nose, kid. I mean, I just clipped the hurdle and dove face first to the ground. Despite his riding in silence comment, Coach was blathering on, probably telling me a story, but I wasn't really listening. He continued, so I know what it's like to be embarrassed in front of your teammates. Trust me, tomorrow nobody will even remember. I heard that part, that tomorrow nobody would remember, and I'm not sure if I believed it or not, but I knew what I could do to help the situation. In addition to the ladders, water bottles, white parents, albino thinking, I also thought myself up a plan. When we pulled up in front of my house, Coach put the car in park. $20, he said, trying to lighten the situation. Coach. Nah, don't try to dash on me, he insisted. You done already robbed me for half a day's pay. But I paid you back already with that sprinting I gave you earlier, I groaned. Coach did a double take. Oh, you thought that was for me? He pressed a finger to his chest. I shook my head and unlocked the door. After I got out, Coach rolled down the window. The car slowly drifted forward. Remember what I said, Ghost. He accelerated slightly. Tomorrow it won't matter. It'll be a new day, a new chance. When I got inside my house, I didn't waste no time. I knew what I needed to do, and I knew that I had to do it before my mother got home and made me eat dinner and watch some sappy flick with her while she procrastinated doing her homework. See, besides working in a hospital cafeteria, she was also taking online classes. There were also textbooks in that big purse, trying to get her nursing degree. She always says she can't wait to one day trade that serving spoon for a stethoscope and this house for a new one, not in Glass Manor. But she hated homework. I guess I get that from her. I dropped my backpack on the couch and headed straight for the kitchen. The drawer next to the stove was where my mother kept leftover duck sauce, soy sauce, chopsticks, menu, tape, screwdrivers, but most importantly, all her coupons organized and clipped by product. Seemed like everybody was having a sale on ketchup, which was a good thing because ketchup always made cafeteria food taste better, way better. Along with the coupons and all the other stuff were the scissors she used to cut those coupons. These weren't just regular scissors, though. Nope. These were hospital scissors. At least that's where my mom got them from. And they were big and shiny and heavy. Like if a doctor got to cut somebody's arm off or something, he could just use these bad boys and snip, snip, bye bye arm, which was why I knew they'd be perfect for what I needed them for. I grabbed the scissors and sat down on the kitchen floor. Using one foot to press against the heel of the other, I pushed my sneakers off. I yanked the laces out of both so the floppy tongues fell forward like drawbridges coming down out of beat up leather no-name fortresses. Because here's the truth. I was still so angry about what happened on the track. Embarrassed. There was so much noise inside of me, so much of everybody's laughing. So starting with the left shoe, I took those big scissors and began cutting and cutting, performing my own kind of surgery, the blades sawing and slicing into the black leather until the high parts of my high tops were gone. And that is the end of chapter 4. Stay tuned for chapter 5.